is having their annual meeting. Yes, it is a physical meeting here
so those
in
are
Cancun,
a few countries,
and everyone is quite excited. I think it's the first physical meeting of any major global tourism entity.
That the tourism
and
industry wants
so
to
the
recover.
hotel here
It's
I'm
not
staying,
thrown
the
up
Moon
its hands in
Palace,
despair.
is
looking for ways to recover.
ready.
And I think
I
that's
just
the beginning
went
of hope,
to
is
backstage and see the rooms are ready.
Even if you don't find
Everything
them
is
right away,
sanitized
you will
and
find them
gets
eventually.
sanitized every
There's
5 minutes.
There's some positive
So people are
signs
excited,
today.
and we don't
Two
know
of
how
them
many
that pop
will
into my
attend
mind.
eventually
Hawaiian
when it starts
Airlines
on
is
Monday.
actually now
But eTurboNews
connecting
will be
Texas,
here, and we'll
the
be
Lone Star
reporting.
State,
And actually, we'll be
with
live
non-stop
streaming
flights
the
to
event.
Austin.
So if you go
The
to
flight
eTurboNews
started
anytime
today.
Monday
What's
and Tuesday
opening a whole new
during
market
daytime
for our
Eastern
tourism industry
U.S.
here, and
time
for people
or
actually to explore
Midwest U.S. time, you will
Texas,
most likely see a live stream of
and
this event,
Austin
and we'll
is
repeat
just
it
a beautiful
for
city.
24
It's
hours
in the
after
middle
this.
of
So
what
if
we
you
call the
missed
hill
anything,
country,
you can
which are
always look
beautiful
at it,
rolling hills.
or you
And
can
if
go
you've
back to
never been to Austin,
livestream.travel anytime
that part
after
of
this
Texas is
and
absolutely
look
gorgeous.
at this event.
This time of
We're
year
doing this
is when all our
in
wildflowers
view
are out. And,
of a
you know, the
partnership
Blue
with
Bond
the
is
World
very famous for
Tourism
Texas.
Network.
And
World
you
Tourism
can see
Network is a
fields of
global
flowers.
organization
And
that just
really is a
started in
beautiful
December,
thing to
but
see.
has been
So
around
if
for
you
1
have
year
never
now.
come to Texas,
And I think
the
we
early
at
spring, when
World
the
Tourism Network were the
wildflowers
first
start to
one
bloom,
talking
the
about rebuilding
mountains
travel.
are filled
So our
with blue
rebuilding
and
travel group
pink
was
and
started
white
at
and
ITB
yellow, and
in
it's
Berlin
quite
in
a sight to see all these
2020
wonderful
when there really
flowers every
wasn't any
place.
ITB. But we were in Berlin,
Yeah,
and we
then
took the
there's
time
news
and had
from the
our
United
meeting that
Arab
was planned
Emirates
at
that
the Grand Hyatt
Emirates
Hotel with a
restarted
handful of
its
people, and
flights
this
to Mexico
discussion how
City.
it
So it's
extends
more good news for
to tourism
Mexico.
professionals
And they're
in
going via
127
Barcelona.
countries.
So now you can fly again
Our
from
focus,
Dubai
as you
to
know, are
Barcelona,
really
and
the
from
medium to
Barcelona
smaller
Mexico
guys.
City,
And
and then
we invite,
connect to
of
the rest
course,
of the
the big
world
brand names
into
to be
Dubai
part of
or
us.
out of Dubai,
And
depending
our
how you
focus
go.
is to
What is a
get
good
the
sign?
medium and small
It kind
guys
of brings
in the
an
industry a
international
voice.
network
And
together
I think
again,
more
step
and
by
more
step.
destinations,
So slowly, but
destinations and
surely,
organizations
there are
are
problems.
recognizing it.
South Africa still
Thanks
has
to
some real
Dr. Talib
problems, and
Ritwai, former
some other
Secretary
countries have,
General for
some real problems.
UNWTO,
Europe,
as a
much
co-chair,
of
and
mainland
Dr.
Europe
Peter
is having some
Carlo,
problems.
our
But we have to hope that
security
eventually, with the
expert.
giving of
We have been
vaccines,
out there in
that
more
we're
than
going to get out
200
of this.
sessions. So if
And
you wanted to
we
know
really
more
need to be
about
working on
World
thinking
Tourism Network, just go
positively
to
and finding new
WTN.travel,
economic
WTN.travel,
vehicles
and you can join
for
us.
tourism to
There are
go
both
from
complimentary ways
it'll
of
never be
joining
the
us,
same.
and their
But
membership
let's hope that
that really
tourism in
are not expensive,
2022
but
might
give
be very
you a
different.
very good
But
value
maybe
and
it'll have
access
a whole new
to a
market
lot
and
of
a whole
these
new world.
ongoing events.
And
Today there
maybe
is a
people
special
who, I
occasion
think a
why we
lot of people are
invited,
really
and you see
anxious
a
to
picture
travel.
of those
I know I'm going to
of
be
you who know
going to Mexico to work
Professor
on their
Jeffrey
national
Lippman.
tourism police
He's joining us from
in
Brussels.
the middle of
And
May.
Professor
And I'm really looking
Lippman
forward to
is
that
a
because
known person.
I've been home a
He's
long
not
time,
only
and I know
leading
this will be
our
your first trip. You've been home a long time, and
our
most of us are
climate-friendly
used to
interest
traveling.
group,
And
Green
now
and
travel
Clean, I
is,
think we call it, for the World Tourism
you
Network.
feel like
He's been a mover and
like you're in a
shaker and a
cage,
player
you're
in the
in a
industry
prison. And
for
so this will
so
be a
many
chance
years.
for us
I
to
know
break out
Jeffrey
and
for
get
way
back
more
into the
than 20
world.
years now.
And if you
And
look
we've
at
done a
airport
lot of
traffic,
things
of
together.
course,
So
it's
I'm
not
very
as it
privileged and
used
very
to be,
happy
but
to
there are
have him.
also
And
glimpse of hopes
Jeffrey was
coming out, like
actually
Moscow
the
Sharon
person who
Kievo
started the
International
World
Airport,
Travel and Tourism
one
Council.
of the
It was his
two major
brainchild.
airports in
And I think
Moscow,
he was the
recorded
first chairman or
4.3
president or
million
CEO. You tell
passengers
us,
in the
Jeffrey.
first
Good
quarter,
morning, good evening.
with
Nice.
39,746
Thomas, and
takeoffs.
it's just
quite substantial.
great to see
Yes.
you.
Let's
to
just
see
hope
you
that
so active.
in Europe there's not a war. As
I
you know,
wasn't
that
so
the
pleased
Russians
when
have
you
moved a
called me
large number
a
of
known
equipment
person,
to
because I
the
think that's what the
border
FBI
with
say
Ukraine,
when they're looking
and
for a
that could be a
suspect
real
somewhere.
issue. There's some real hot
But
spots around the world.
I'm happy
and
to have
the
known you
last
for
thing that the
20
tourism
years,
industry needs
to have
is for
worked
us
with
to
you
go
on
back
many
to violence and
initiatives,
war. So
and
hopefully
always
the world will
to
stay somewhat
admired
peaceful.
your love
Certainly
of
when
travel
you're in
and tourism
Mexico,
industry,
which has had some of its
which
own
you
issues,
truly have,
but I think where you're going to
and
be,
the
you're going to have a great
supportive
time,
role that you've
and
played for the
hopefully you're going to
industry,
relax.
particularly
I
in the
know that
last difficult 12
tomorrow, or
months,
I don't think tomorrow, but the next day you'll
when
be
you've
reporting
created
live from
WTN and the rebuilding
WTTC,
travel
and that's going to be really interesting
philosophy,
for everybody to hear
and
what your reaction
you've
is and
succeeded in
what you see, and you'll kind of be our
developing,
eyes and ears
I think it's going to
for
be a very important
the
network
big
So
issues
I'm
that are
very
going
happy
on
to
in the
be
world
with
of
you
tourism.
today.
So I'm really excited
I'm
about
doubly
it.
Yeah,
happy
we're going
to be
actually a step
there
further. We have an agreement
when
with
you're
the
at
World
the
Travel and Tourism Council. And
WTTC.
we'll be
I
live
did
streaming
get an
all their events.
invitation,
So
but I'm
anything
getting my
going on, you can
second
see live on
COVID
eTurboNews. Just go to
vaccination next
eTurboNews.com
week,
or to
and I'm
livestream.travel.
slightly
And you
older
can
than
see
you, so I'm in
what is
that
going on
dangerous
Monday and
group. If I
Tuesday in
real
so
time.
there's
If
no
you wanted to
traveling
know
for
the
me.
times and the events,
And
go to
I'm
worldtourismevents.com. Next
looking
event
forward
coming
to
up is the WTTC
this particular
conference.
meeting
And we
because
will mix this with live reports
Gloria
and interviews.
Guevara, who's a
But
good
the
friend,
sessions, the live sessions,
is doing a
you don't
great
have to
job
actually fly to
of
Cancun. You just need
building
to
the
read eTurboNews and look at our
WTTC,
website.
And that'll
in
be
a way
great.
which I
Well,
think
listen,
all of
you
her
go in
predecessors,
peace
I
and
was
have
the
a
first
wonderful
one,
trip.
would
Enjoy
truly
all
admire.
the great
She's
Mexican
collaborating
cuisine
with
for all of us.
the other big
And
international
let me
organizations.
know how things are, because I'll be following
maybe
about a
a
week
little
afterwards
flaky with the
to Mexico
UNWTO,
City
but I certainly
and
don't
to
think that's the fault
Zacatecas.
of Gloria.
And I'm going to be looking forward to working in the
I
developing
think
of
she's getting the message
Mexico's
out
national
there,
tourism
which was a
policy. And that's going
message
to be a
which was
really
actually
exciting
what we
new
started with in
world
1990.
for
It wasn't
Mexico,
actually my
and
brainchild.
hopefully an opening
I have
that's
to
going to
make
help
this clear.
Mexico
It was
become
the
a
brainchild
really
of a group
it is a major
people,
power, but even
American
a greater power
leaders,
when it comes
basically,
to world
predominantly in
tourism.
American
Yes,
Express.
and Mexico
The
always
then
has this
chairman,
security question.
James Robinson,
Yes.
So building a tourism police is
and
even more
a
important
man
in
who's
Mexico
now
than in
unfortunately
any
dead,
country I can
Tommaso
think of these
Zanzotto,
days.
you might
So
remember,
that's a
Italian
good
tourism
development.
guy.
It is, yes.
And
So
Lou
please,
Gerstner,
we're not going to
who
speak
was,
too long, but I know this
later went
hopefully
on
will
to
be
become
leading into
to get
other
heavily
forms
involved
of
in that
information. And I want you to
RJR
travel safely.
Nabisco
Enjoy your time in the
takeover
air in Texas.
exercise,
I'm
and
sorry.
finally
I'll wave to you if I see a
made
plane
it
in
to
the
be
air.
the chairman of IBM. And they
all right, as you
had
say in
the
Spanish,
idea in
adios.
1990,
Go with God.
because American Express was
buen viaje.
I mean,
Have
a
a good trip.
major
Bye-bye.
organization.
The ocean revives all of us.
Outside travel.
When you look out, you see a beautiful blue ocean, calm seas, and a lot of times people don't see the beast that's hidden within that beauty.
You
can easily identify simple things like rip currents, shore breaks, rocks.
Look for any hazard signs that are in the area that indicate some of the hazards or some of the currents.
Know and be aware of the wind, the current, where the waves are breaking, a safe place to enter and exit the water.
Make sure you let somebody know, or at least have a partner with you going out with you all the time.
And the most important thing is always try and swim where there's a lifeguard.
If you're unsure, don't be afraid to ask people. People here are super informational.
It's about understanding Mother Nature, respecting Mother Nature. We want people to be safe and enjoy themselves.
And frankly, it was all played at a level below where
Do not travel to France. U.S. issues France travel advisory. Do not travel to France due to COVID-19. Exercise increased caution in France due to terrorism and civil unrest. Demonstrations in Paris and other major cities continue in France and are expected to continue in the coming weeks. The United States Department of State issued the following travel advisory for France. Do not travel to France due to COVID-19. Exercise increased caution in France due to terrorism and civil unrest. Read the Department of State's COVID-19 page before you plan any international travel. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has issued a Level 4 travel health notice for France due to COVID-19, indicating a very high level of COVID-19 in the country. Visit the embassy's COVID-19 page for more information on COVID-19 in France. There are restrictions in place affecting U.S. citizen entry into France. Terrorist groups continue plotting possible attacks in France. Terrorists may attack with little or no warning, targeting tourist locations, transportation hubs, markets, shopping malls, local government facilities, hotels, clubs, restaurants, places of worship, parks, major sporting and cultural events, educational institutions, airports, and other public areas. Demonstrations in Paris and other major cities continue in France and are expected to continue in the coming weeks. Property damage, including looting and arson, in populated tourist areas has occurred with reckless disregard for public safety. Police have responded with water cannons, rubber bullets, and tear gas. The U.S. Embassy is advising official U.S. government travelers to avoid travel to Paris and other major cities in France on the weekends. If you decide to travel to France, see the U.S. Embassy's webpage regarding COVID-19. Visit the CDC's webpage on travel and COVID-19. Be aware of your surroundings when traveling to tourist locations and large crowded public venues. Avoid demonstrations. Review travel plans if you will be in France on weekends. Follow the instructions of local authorities, including movement restrictions related to any ongoing police action. Find a safe location, and shelter in place if in the vicinity of large gatherings or protests. Monitor local media for breaking events and adjust your plans based on new information. Enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. Step to receive alerts and make it easier to locate you in an emergency. Follow the Department of State on Facebook and Twitter. Review the Crime and Safety Report for France. Have a contingency plan for emergency situations.
Sandals Resorts Jamaica adds exciting new resorts. Sandals Resorts is setting the stage for a new standard of excellence and the brand's continued investment in Jamaica. 2 all-inclusive resorts and a prime parcel of beachfront land are going to be transformed. Guests can expect lavish rooms and suites, luxurious amenities, fine dining, and golf. Signaling the brand's ongoing confidence in the destination, Sandals Resorts International, the Caribbean's leading luxury all-inclusive resort company, is making it clear that it is confident in destination Jamaica, with the addition of 3 new hotels. Sandals Resorts International Chairman Adam Stewart said they will be transforming 2 all-inclusive resorts in Jamaica that they acquired last year, the former Jewel Duns River Beach Resort and Spa in Ocho Rios, and Jewel Runaway Bay Beach Resort and Water Park, along with a prime parcel of beachfront land adjacent to the Ocho Rios Resort. These new properties will offer 3 distinct experiences under the Sandals Resorts and Beaches Resorts brands. The expansion plans return one of Jamaica's most storied resorts, the Duns River property in Ocho Rios, back to the Sandals family as Sandals Duns River, the same moniker as when it was originally added to the portfolio in 1990. Sandals Duns River holds special meaning to our family because its history is the story of Jamaica's evolution as a travel powerhouse. My father grew up on the beach in Ocho Rios, and this hotel, the first of its kind when it was built in the 1950s, captured the era's glamour and sparked his imagination. When it became available, we jumped at the chance to bring the hotel back into the Sandals fold, said Stewart. Stewart said the new Sandals Duns River will receive a top-to-bottom renovation, with the adjacent ocean-front land transformed into an additional brand-new resort. Sandals Royal Duns River, a modern luxurious escape featuring approximately 250 lavish rooms and suites. The sister hotels will operate very much like the concepts redeveloped between Sandals Barbados and Sandals Royal Barbados, offering generous exchange privileges between the 2 all-inclusive resorts in Barbados, giving guests tremendous and convenient dining and amenity options. The Runaway Bay Resort, a renowned Jamaican property hotel located midway between Ocho Rios and Montego Bay, will also undergo extensive redevelopment to become Beaches Runaway Bay Resort, the 3rd family-friendly beaches resort in Jamaica. At its completion, the hotel will feature an estimated 400 expensive 1, 2, 3 and 4 bedroom suites, designed with extended families in mind. Guests of Beaches Runaway Bay also have access to Runaway Bay Golf Club and its par 72 18-hole championship golf course. Jamaica will always play a critical part in our plans to grow and innovate Caribbean hospitality. There is tremendous opportunity here and a ripe moment, as leisure travelers are choosing to return to the places and brands that they know and trust, said Stewart. Sandals Resorts International. Sandals Resorts International is the parent company of some of travel's most visible brands, including Sandals Resorts, Beaches Resorts, Grand Pineapple Beach Resort, Foul Care Resort and Your Jamaican Villas. Founded in 1981 by the late Gordon Butch Stewart, SRI is based in Montego Bay, Jamaica, and is responsible for resort development, service standards, skills training and day-to-day operations. For more information, visit Sandals Resorts International. Sandals Resorts. Sandals Resorts offers 2 people in love the most romantic, luxury-included vacation experience in the Caribbean. With 15 stunning beachfront settings in Jamaica, Antigua, St. Lucia, the Bahamas, Barbados, Grenada, and a 16th location coming to Curacao spring 2022, Sandals Resorts offers more quality inclusions than any other resort company on the planet. Signature Love Nest Butler Suites for the ultimate in privacy and service. Butlers trained by the Guild of Professional English Butlers. The Red Lane Spa, 5-star global gourmet dining, ensuring top-shelf liquor, premium wines, and gourmet specialty restaurants, aqua centers with expert potty certification and training, fast Wi-Fi from beach to bedroom, and Sandals customizable weddings are all Sandals Resorts exclusives. Sandals Resorts guarantees guests peace of mind from arrival to departure with the Sandals Platinum Protocols of Cleanliness, the company's enhanced health and safety measures designed to give guests the utmost confidence when vacationing in the Caribbean. Sandals Resorts is part of family-owned Sandals Resorts International, founded by the late Gordon Whip Stewart, which includes Beaches Resorts, and is the Caribbean's leading all-inclusive resort company. For more information about the Sandals Resorts luxury included difference, visit www.sandals.com. Beaches Resorts. With 3 spectacular locations in Turks and Caicos in Jamaica, and a 4th location coming to St. Vincent in the Grenadines, Beaches Resorts is the ultimate getaway for every member of the family. Beaches Resorts provides more quality inclusions than any other resort company on the planet with outrageous water parks, XBOX play lounges, exclusive kids camps, teen nightclubs, certified nannies, butler service, red lane spas, aqua centers with expert potty certification and training, and free Wi-Fi. As a proud sponsor of Sesame Street, Beaches Resorts also offers the Caribbean Adventures with Sesame Street, where kids can spend their vacation with their favorite friends from the Sesame Street gang with daily activities and weekly stage shows. Beaches Resorts are the perfect place for family gatherings from reunions and special birthdays to the signature destination wedding program, Beaches Customizable Weddings. Beaches Resorts guarantees guests peace of mind from arrival to departure with the Beaches Platinum Protocols of Cleanliness, the company's enhanced health and safety measures designed to give guests the utmost confidence when vacationing in the Caribbean. Beaches Resorts is part of family-owned Sandals Resorts International, founded by the late Gordon Whip Stewart, that includes luxury-included Sandals Resorts, and is the Caribbean's leading all-inclusive resort company. For more information about the Beaches Resorts, visit www.beaches.com. More news about Sandals. Number rebuilding travel.
Beaches is all about families, and keeping your family safe is our #1 priority. That's why we created our Platinum Protocol of Cleanliness, setting a new standard of excellence in health and safety protocols to give you a worry-free destination wedding of a lifetime. Beaches was built on connection. Connecting with family and friends, celebrating old times, and creating new beginnings. And we know the love you have for your family and having them there for the most special time of your life is what's most important. At Beaches, you can still have that happily ever after with a fully customized destination wedding surrounded by the people who mean the most to you. You can feel safe saying, "I do," in a lush tropical garden, or walking down a white sand aisle with a calm blue sea as your backdrop. Our wedding venues are found in wide open spaces, nature-made for celebrating your love. And while we've always led the industry in health and safety protocols, our resorts are even safer now than ever, giving you a wedding free of worries, surrounded by love. That's why we've reduced the capacity of our venues and put more physical distance between guests. Instead of tables for 8 at your reception, we'll seat only 6 guests per table. We've eliminated buffets and specialty food stations, so all food will be plated and served by Beaches staff wearing masks. We're even offering live stream service of your wedding ceremony, so your friends and family who can't travel right now can still share in your special day. Once the vows have been exchanged, the honeymoon of a lifetime begins. And we're taking every measure necessary to ensure your health and safety during your stay at Beaches. As part of the Sandals Resorts family, we've followed in their footsteps in setting a new standard of excellence with our Platinum Protocol of Cleanliness. Together with the extensive research from local ministries and health officials, the Center for Disease Control and the World Health Organization, Beaches has instituted advanced hygiene practices across 18 key touchpoints. a triple check system that includes inspecting, cleaning, and sanitizing hard surfaces and common areas every 20 minutes. Adding auto-dispensing hand sanitizing stations throughout the resort. To ensure the utmost safety, beaches will be using hospital-grade disinfectants, electrostatic sprayers for advanced cleaning, UV lighting equipment to inspect cleanliness, and air duct sanitization for each room before every guest's arrival. We've gone so far as to steam clean and sanitize carpeting and flooring prior to arrivals, and placing personal hand sanitizers in every guest room. For added safety, all staff members are required to wear protective face gear at all times. And from now on, guests can check in online at home, so they can bypass the front desk and go directly to their rooms. Stricter physical distancing protocols have also been put in place in every part of the resort. Chlorine and pH levels at all our pools and water parks are monitored every 2 hours. And we've taken added measures to protect the health and safety of your family. Our kids' camps facilities are sanitized before and after each use. And all of our professional nannies carry pocket-sized bottles of hand sanitizer. Our tween and teen hangouts, including the Xbox Play Lounge and Trench Town, are sanitized before and after each use with hospital-grade disinfectants. In addition, all our spa facilities and sports equipment will be sanitized before and after use to protect the health and safety of our guests and their families. Both Sandals and beaches are committed to providing strict compliance and implementation of these safety protocols. So much so that we've created a dedicated quality inspection team at each resort to make sure all safety measures are adhered to. We can't wait to help you make your dreams come true with a destination wedding at Beaches. And while you're focused on your new life together, surrounded by those you love the most, we'll take care of everything else.
Intimately involved with this.
The governor of Anguilla shares COVID-19 update. An active COVID infection has moved the governor of Anguilla to impose a stay-at-home order. Effective immediately, all non-essential workers are to stay in place at home and ports are closed to incoming passengers. Restaurants and food established have been restricted to only take-out services. The government of Anguilla today confirmed that there has been an incident of an active COVID-19 infection without direct links to an imported infection. 2 additional individuals tested positive and are all in isolation. The Ministry of Health and Health Authority colleagues have initiated aggressive contact tracing to identify every individual who may have come into close contact with these 3 persons. All individuals thus identified have been placed under quarantine and tested. Up to April 20th, Anguilla had 30 confirmed cases of COVID-19 with 1 active imported case on island. In light of this development, effective 11:59 p.m. on April 22, 2021, all persons on Anguilla other than those providing essential services will be required to stay at home. Also, all non-essential workplaces will close. All public gatherings are prohibited. Restaurants and other food establishments are restricted to take-out services only. All social distancing measures are to be observed, including capacity limits and mask wearing where appropriate. All ports will be closed to incoming passengers, although those seeking to leave Anguilla will be permitted to do so. In the announcement today, the chairman of the Anguilla Tourist Board, Mr. Kenroy Herbert, stated, "Anguilla remains a safe destination. We take all incidents very seriously, and our quick response and protocols reinforces how serious we are about the safety of our visitors and residents. Vaccination of the population remains paramount, and persons are encouraged to continue to visit vaccination sites to receive the vaccine. To date, 6,998 persons have registered for the vaccine, and of those, 6,115 persons received their first dose, and 783 persons received their second dose, representing approximately 50% of the island's adult population. The government of Anguilla is committed to transparency and openness in updating both its citizenry and the tourism community of the status of the pandemic on island. For travel and tourism information on Anguilla, please visit the official website of the Anguilla Tourist Board, www.iVisitanguilla.com. About Anguilla, tucked away in the northern Caribbean, Anguilla is a shy beauty with a warm smile. A slender length of coral and limestone fringed with green, the island is ringed with 33 beaches, considered by savvy travelers and top travel magazines.
There is a message that says to people, you can travel to better places. You don't have to go so quickly. You can go into the countryside. You can think more about your impact on local populations. And that sentiment, which has been there since 1992, has grown during this period. And I think you'll see these two things. But the carbon effect is very, very small. It's, you know, some people say that we've had a carbon output of under 10% during the COVID period. But in the big picture of things, and in terms of trying to reach a limit on carbon by 2050, so that the temperature of the world doesn't increase by more than 1.5 degrees, what's happened in the COVID period is absolutely nothing. We're on track to reach 3 degrees. And if we reach 3 degrees, and it's 30 years' time, it's the lifespan of one aircraft, you know, an aircraft type. So it's not unrealistic that we should be thinking about this. If it's 3 degrees, the sea levels are going to rise. So places like Miami are going to be flooded out completely, Honolulu. And the forest fires that we've seen burning in California and Australia and in the Siberian tundra, they're going to multiply dramatically. The storms that we've seen in the Caribbean, which wiped out whole island states, they're going to get worse and more of them. So from an actual carbon reduction point of view, the COVID crisis has made little impact. And the only way we can get a new balance, which is what we need, is there has to be very serious, active planning to reduce carbon by dramatic levels over the next 25 years. And it has to start now. You can't sort of say, well, we'll push it off 5 years. It has to start now. It means new aircraft types. It means new fuel, which doesn't produce the pollution. Big questions around building massive cruise liners with 10,000 people on them. Big questions. And it means hotels going to have to refurbish completely, have to start using solar power, wind power, in some cases nuclear power. And all of this is going to mean a big economic reshift, big economic boost if it's done properly. That's what President Biden is saying. We can boost the economy because for every 2 jobs, I read this somewhere recently, every 2 jobs that you're projected to get from using coal, there's 50 jobs in solar installation. And they're clean jobs. You don't have to go down the holes in the ground. It's engineers, it's technicians, it's cyber people. So there's a huge potential in it. And our sector, it isn't a question of whether it can change. It has to change and has to change, and it has to start right now. It has to stop being a voice for status quo, and we have to take a position of leadership, because if not, we'll be left behind, and the Greta Thunbergs of this world will say, don't use these polluting companies.
And Jeffrey, if you, I think one of the issues is here, people are not, for the most part, not really educated about climate change. Whenever there is a snowstorm, I hear the argument, you see, this is climate change. It's getting colder, it's not getting warmer. And and then you see, yesterday I watched a documentary, I think it was National Geographic's on my flight over from Honolulu to Denver, and it was fascinating what you said, what 1 degree can do to places like the Great Barrier Reef, and not only to the Great Barrier Reef, what the Great Barrier Reef can do to the situation on land and everywhere else. So people, I don't think for the most part are educated about the consequences of climate change, and really
our generation not. Our generation, and I include you in our generation, Thomas, even
right.
though I know I can give you a few years. But the young people, they are educated. The young people have an Earth Day in school. They learn about these issues and they care about these issues. We've been running a diploma course for 45 graduate students from 30 countries around the world for the past 6 months in Malta, or virtually actually, but from Malta. And we don't have to teach them that climate change is real. They come knowing that. What we have to teach them is how the industry response has to fit with the rest of society's response. Tourism has a wonderful way of creating its own answers. And, you know, we're a special case. We need to do it this way. We're not a special case. If we don't fix this issue, we'll be consumed like everybody else. And we have to take care of those areas which we all know are aircraft produce a significant amount of the total travel and tourism industry pollution. The IATA position on dealing with this until now has been, I've referred to it as Neanderthal. The rest of the world says we have to have no carbon by 2050, pretty much. Even the American airlines have taken a lead on this, and now some European airlines. IATA position is by 2050, we will reduce our carbon to half of the levels we had in 2005. It's a nonsense position. It's you're the last people in the column.
Yeah. Jeffrey, go back a little bit to what you mentioned about business travel. Your assumption, leisure travel will come up after COVID, with maybe hopefully with climate change adjustments, and business travel could be left behind. How can leisure travel function, for instance, in hotels like the hotel I'm staying here? What looks like a good portion of the income of this hotel must be conventions, because there's no convention center adjacent to the hotel. How will they be able to function and take care even of the expenses leisure travel would generate with just leisure travel be present in this tourism climate?
Well, they may not be able to. They have to adapt. You know, how did the dodo function when the people came to Mauritius in boats and started to eat it for lunch? If you don't find a way to adapt, you die. Big hotels will have to find ways to change their revenue cost mix. They'll have to find ways to, at the same time, to reduce their energy requirements. They'll have to move to green energy, and they'll have to find a mix where doing business. That's what WTTC members have to do.
So it's all about leadership. And well, Jeffrey, it was really nice having you here this Saturday, and hope we can talk again maybe right after the WTTC conference, and you can give us your perspective on what is happening. And anytime
I'll be watching your live stream. I think it's great that you're putting it out. I'm really sorry not to be there with you. We've had so many good dinners together at these various events, but I'm not feeling too bad about being home, to be honest.
No, you got a nice home, and and dinners here, you know, yes, they're free. It's all inclusive. So, you know, it's another dinner, I guess. But we're going to have a dinner maybe in Brussels again at a real place when COVID cools down and we both have the vaccine.
I fear for you in an all-inclusive resort, Thomas, because I've had so many good meals with you. I know you like your food.
All right. Well, I'm trying to cut down. So, but they have a gym here too, so that's a good part. Let's see. All right, Jeffrey, you take care. And
you too, and really good. And thank you so much for this.
All right. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
To London, and you see already the picture for Andrew Brown. And let me give you a little bit of a background before we give the microphone to Andrew. Andrew represents the world, the WTTC, World Travel and Tourism Council, what many say is the home for the most influential companies in the world in regards to travel and tourism. And I have to say, this discussion on rebuilding travel, COVID and everything else actually is a little bit older than a year. And I know I had very intense discussions with Gloria Goravar. She is the CEO of WTTC, former Minister of Tourism from Mexico. And we were talking before ITB was even canceled. And she was very active in this. We had some very good back and forth and everything ever since. We've been in touch on WhatsApp almost every week. And of course, follow the initiatives from WTTC. Many, and we have written this in eTurboNews, believe that Gloria is probably the most influential woman or person in the travel and tourism industry. And it's not only taking the task now of the private industry, and Taleb brought the private industry and the public sector together, but she's keeping this concept. I think WTTC started with Taleb when he was in charge of UNWTO forward and onward, pretty much on her own in a lot of ways. And she's been a wonderful woman. She wasn't able to attend us personally. I'm sure there's so many events for her to attend, but she made sure that Andrew, and Andrew can tell you who he is and what his role is in WTTC, but we're very pleased to have you here, Andrew.
Before Andrew speaks, may I just say something about
Sure.
WTC is the only organization now that's picking up the pieces when it comes to government cooperation. The only organization. As the minister said, it's not enough to have each government work on its own, do its best. If governments don't work together, if all authorities don't work together, it won't work. You're the only organization that's picking the pieces. Thank you so much, Andrew, for being with us. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Taleb. Thank you, Taleb, and thank you, Jürgen, for that very nice introduction. Am I able to share my screen by chance?
Yes, you can. Yes. Go ahead.
Perfect. Thank you. Well, it's a pleasure to be here, everyone, and thank you for having the time. I'm Andrew from the World Travel and Tourism Council, calling in from London. You'll hear that my accent is not here from the UK. I'm from New Zealand originally, so where COVID is not really present right now, but we'll fight that battle.
Thanks to the lady Prime Minister.
Yes, Jacinda's job down there. So I'm the regional director here at WTDC for Europe and Oceania, and Oceania is simply for translation purposes, as we speak a lot faster down in that part of the world. And but it was great to hear the passion that you have for Africa, and I can't wait to go traveling once again and the amazing continent that is Africa, and the powerful messaging that you're putting across is amazing. Please continue that. And Minister, same to you as well. It's great to hear that Eswatini is looking to use tourism as a massive driver of your economy, currently 10%, and we look forward to seeing the results increase even more as we go forward. So if I just take a moment to introduce everyone here to WTDC, just in case you might not know, obviously Talib is not on the slide, but Talib is our ambassador, our global ambassador, and we're very welcome. We're very delighted to have him as our ambassador.
Thank you.
WTDC is the global body that represents the private sector in travel and tourism. Our members are some of which that you'll see on the screen here, and they encompass all geographies and all industries within travel and tourism, from airports to cruises, from OTAs, travel services to tour operators. Every single industry is encountered within WTDC. We were founded 30 years ago last year, so it was a unique year to celebrate our 30th anniversary. And the reason for WTDC was around highlighting the economic impact that travel and tourism has on the world economy, but also on the country and regions of this world. So the Minister mentioned that Eswatini has 10% of its GDP focused on tourism. That's very, very well aligned to the global average, where travel and tourism contributes 10.3% to the global economy. Now, these are pre-COVID numbers. So as you can see on the graph below, that we were experiencing a very, very positive time. There was 8-9 years of consecutive growth of travel and tourism over and above the global economy. And during that time, obviously Talib was the SG of UNWTO, and that was a very golden age of travel and tourism. One other point I want to point out on this slide is travel and tourism accounted for 1 in 4 of every new jobs created globally. So if you think of every 4 jobs, 1 of them was in travel and tourism. And this made up 330 million jobs worldwide. So we were a very dominant sector. We were doing very, very well. And so that was pre-COVID. Now, to show what it's done now, what's COVID done to us? Well, at the end of last year, we projected that 174 million jobs had been impacted. Now, let's remember that that initial number was 330 million. So 174 is over 53% below. And that's very significant. And then if we translate that into dollar figures, you can see there it's 4.7 billion. So that's very, very significant. Sorry, 4.7 trillion. So again, 53%. But then we looked at it and said, hey, how can we look towards a positive recovery in 2021? What would be the best outcome of international collaboration, which I'll come on to very, very soon. And we saw that there is the opportunity, if the governments combine, the private sector, the public sector, all get together, and we can recover 111 million jobs, which is a massive upside